Okay, so last video we went ahead and got Oil Mod updated to 1.9. This one we're going to try to hit 1.10 and 11 at the same time. Not sure we're going to get through both of them, but it's worth a try. Anyways, I did forget to upload code here, so we'll go ahead and do that. So updated to 1.9.4. Commit that, and then here later that will be released. Probably won't, well, yeah, I'll probably get them all released by Friday. So we got that going. Downscreen that, close this workspace, open this guy up, and then we just want to go ahead and copy our Euler workspace to the 110 folder. Go ahead and throw that in there, and I got a bing on Discord. Oh, that's interesting. I got a failure to send message. I've never had one of those before. Oh, apparently I'm being told I accidentally skipped and did the wrong version of 111. So apparently there's a 111 too, but I'm only doing 111, so oh well. I'll get those updated later. Euler, so yeah, we just repeat the process, delete the old junk out of here. Get rid of the build file, the Gradle file, the output file. And then we want to go into this, and then we just want to type in, I believe, just 110. Let me check. There is 110 scripts, but if I messed up the last one here, let me make sure I'm using the right version. So there should be branches. There's a 110 too. I only see a 111. So I don't know what Demon's talking about, how there's another version on here. Because I'm just using his repository script, so whatever they tell me to do is what I do. Make sure that it does actually go to the right spot. Yep, okay. Hit save. Go back in here, and we're going to need the dev kit script again. I probably should have just cloned this BuiltBroken script repo, but don't need to really clone it. So go ahead and grab this again, and just pop back in here, open this up, move command window here, and then run that. Oh, we lost the 2 people that were watching the stream. Bummer. That was expected. Surprised people actually watch me do this stuff. It's not entertaining. I'm not gonna understand if I'm sitting here like developing explosives or guns or tanks or something. That's cool. You can watch me practice and like try to make them work properly, but ore blocks. I would fall asleep watching this. But this is for prototyping. So we're not just prototyping the mods, but we're prototyping the stream, and we're trying to see how the stream is going to work out and how the recordings are going to work out. And that way, here next week or the week after, when we start actually working on ICBM and Volts Engine, you can start watching me update those and work on those and add new explosives. Yeah, you know what? I'll probably sneak in a little bit of ICBM work this week. It's probably a really good idea. So I really do want to get the medium missile finished that Alex made us, because I mean it's a really cool model. It's going to make a lot of fun. I can imagine people building these huge silos that have a lot of different abilities to them. And my microphone fell over just a little bit there. I really need to go find my studio mic stand. That way, instead of using this really cheapo microphone that I have to kind of lean down to use, I could be using a studio microphone that would be hanging above me. The sad thing is I got all the equipment for it. I misplaced just the stand. Imagine how nubbish that is to do, because it's this little like 3-foot stand when it's folded up, and you unfold it and stuff, and it's actually pretty sizable. I've got the clamp for it, so the clamp is still attached to my desk, but I can't find the stand. The stand just slides right into it. Something tells me I'm going to like find it in the most weirdest spot ever. Like somebody was trying to use the fish clothing out from behind the dryer and just left it back there. It's probably where it's at, actually. Whatever. I'll find it here later. The good thing is OBS does have some pretty good noise filtration in it, so it is filtering out a decent amount of the noise, especially when you consider the fact my computer is running like a turbine because it's 82 degrees in my room right now. I might buy another fan just to keep the computer cold. I'm like really thinking. I used to be one of those people that didn't like the idea of liquid cooling CPUs. I am really thinking about the next computer I get to put one on there, even if it's going to cost me an additional like $60, just because when I'm running high intense games on this computer, it feels like I'm in a sauna. Really, really miserable to actually do stuff on this computer when it's overloaded. Anyway, so this is updated here. So we just gotta load it up, do our normal steps, and hopefully we don't have to run any code on here. And actually, you know what? Before I even forget to do this, let's go more repositories. 110 oil ore mod. Then do this. Oh wait, was just about to make a mistake. I need to make a branch first. 1.10. Then set version to 1.10.2. Hit commit, hit push to origin, and there we go. Okay. So we gotta do Lombok again. I don't even know why I'm bothering with it. I don't use it. I really should, because it is really useful. But I've just never got into a custom of using it. Okay, so if we open up the main class, that's a really good indicator of how many errors we have. We're looking good. So we hit build and rebuild project. That'll give us an easy mode to find all the errors. We may not have to do anything on this version. Deprecated. Okay, deprecated C fluid container item wrapper. Public class implements iFluid handler, iCapacity provider. Converts an old iFluid container item to the iFluid handler. Note that successful operation will modify the container's item stack. Huh? I'm actually confused. iFluid container item. I guess you just want to apply the item. Oh, it's deprecated too. Deprecated C capabilities iFluid container for compatible interfaces. iFluid. I don't want to use the capability system because that's a really backwards way to do this. I was told when you hit the capability system that a lot of this stuff was optional, but I'm looking like it's not optional anymore. That's crap. Init capacity, fluid handler item. Well, how do you get the capabilities of this? I'm honestly confused on how to use this. Okay, so they wrapper it now, but even the wrapper is deprecated. Will be removed along with iFluid container item. So how are you supposed to use the new system? It's a really big thing to go like, hey, we're going to remove an interface that's been functionally usable for a very long time, and now you got to switch to this capability system and then not tell you how to do it. See, it says this, create an item. This will be removed soon. Create an item like iFluid container. So you go like that. So it says init capabilities, but how do you get the capabilities? So send a fluid container to replace the functionality of the fluid container registry and the iFluid container item. This fluid container may be set so that it can only completely fill or empty. Binary. It may also be set to get consumed when drained. Consumable. But then you get your handler. So fluid handler item stack. So fluid container is a template capability provider for item stacks. Data is stored directly in the vanilla MBT in the same way as the old deprecated item fluid container. This class allows an item stack to contain any partial level, etc., etc. But how do you get it? I mean, the functionality looks perfectly fine. Get capabilities. Consume swap. Something tells me I'm not understanding something. Let's hit Control B on this and see where I kind of get it at. You know what? There's let's go to the Forge website, and I know they have a entry in their wiki on capability system. So let's see. At least I could have swore they had one in here. Events, networking, data storage, capabilities. Using the capabilities, has capability. So as a method, title and instance type will implement the capability provided future through the iCapability interface. This interface adds two methods, has capability and get capability, which can be used to implement or used to query the capability presented object. Capability item handler capability. Unique instance. Okay. So that means for our recipe, we want to actually run this. So I'm going to leave the old system in here for the moment because that's really easy to work with. And then I'm going to implement the new system. But we're going to want to do something like that. Just so we have a null check. And we go else if slot dot has capability. Oh, so you can get why is there a facing direction though? That's not what I want to do. I'm going to do that. So for some reason it has a facing direction, and I'm assuming you throw any facing direction in because, well, I'm just going to throw null in there and see what happens. And then we want a capability. So it says something on the wiki here that you want capability item handler item capability. Let's see what this is. Item handler capability. There's a registry for it. There's a handler set for it. How do you figure out what capability you want to use though? Exposing a capability, attaching capabilities, creating your own capability. Man, this is going to be brutally painful when I go to update Volt's engine in newer versions. Oh, hey, Phil. So let's see. There's got to be a way to do this. I would ask in the Forge channel. Something tells me I'm not going to get a reply. Nah. Let's not use the Forge channel. Actually, let's close that. So there's definitely a capability for this. So let's go ahead and just hit Control B on this, and let's see what implements you. Oh wow, capability energy. Oh yeah, there's fluid handler right there. So this is what I'm looking for, is this capability. And I think I'm just looking for this guy. So capability fluid handler, then capability fluid. So I think it's what I want to get. And then we want to get the capacity for it or whatever. So we call the get method. And this returns T of T, which is the capability. And then our capability return type is iFluidHandler, which is strange, in my opinion. So that gives us our handler. So we would go if handler doesn't equal null. Then I think I can just run this code right here. I just have to do something different. So like handler, there's a stack, so let's actually throw stack up at the top here. The reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to actually feed stack into these guys here, and we're going to make sure that we don't modify the original. Because what we're trying to do here is we're trying to figure out what type of fluid the bucket has in it, but we don't want to modify the bucket because then that could result in stuff breaking. What is our behavioral logic? So we got a resource and we got a do fill. Okay, so we just want to pass in a resource, and then we want true, so that works. You know the problem, they get rid of that value right there. So this value is one of the bigger things I always love from this, is that you can pull the bucket value, except I guess they did change it. That works. I guess they were smart enough to realize they still need to keep that value around. They just moved it to a different location. I just wish they wouldn't get rid of the whole system altogether, because even though the capability system has a lot of potential, the old system worked fine. Yeah, that works good. So we'll go ahead and implement that, and that should fix our recipe. We're not going to be able to test the recipe yet, but I want to go ahead and have it fixed before we do anything else. Let's hit build and then rebuild project again. I'm going to go ahead and close all tabs. And we should be good, so we can go ahead and test now. So debug, test Minecraft client, change our modular to that, hit apply, hit debug. And as soon as we get this done, we'll pop to 111, and we'll try 112 after that. I don't think 112 is going to be a smooth transition because I don't know what they did to the furnace recipes. Toss that over there real quick while I wait for this to do whatever it's doing. I can go ahead and grab another window here so I can make sure I throw the last recording in the upload folder before I forget about it. I reminds me the previous 5 recordings have already been uploaded. Okay. This seems to be taking a little bit longer time than 1.9 to load. Not by a major amount, but just by that little small amount. Looks like they're reloading the models again. Textures, baking the models. Huh. Load up our world again. Oh yeah, I forgot to enable dev mode on this branch as well. We just want to check to see if the items render and everything, and then we'll do a new world for the terrain. Okay, so get that. So we know the ore is rendering over here, so that's good. We haven't really been checking recipes. I probably should have... Yeah, I need to check recipes real quick. I was trying to get a big stack here, but I guess you can't double stack off that. Put you there, put you here, put that there. Yeah, there's our oil pump. Now this can act as a fuel. So yeah, it's working as a fuel. Let me check the rendering on this guy. He looks okay. Yeah, the rendering looks fine. Just looks a little big in the hand for some reason. Let me get a coal block and check the same rendering on that. Yeah, they're the same size. Okay. And then, yeah, I forgot to check recipes in the last 2 versions. I'll have to just test that right before we release them, and then we'll be fine. Yeah, so oil clumps. Cool. Yeah, when you download this mod standalone, by the way, the only real use of the oil clump is basically just a really high-grade coal replacement. That's about it. It's actually meant to be used with another mod to get yourself fuel, and then that mod's used to work with another mod to let generators work. All for a client commission, basically. Although I made the mod public because it's actually not a horrible mod. It's really simple, but it has its benefits. Anyways, we'll close that down, and then I'm going to go ahead and edit configuration and make sure we get debug mode in here. Hit apply, hit run, launch again, and then we just test the ore generator. Then we go ahead and commit our changes to the remote. Changed recipe to support yeah, hopefully that capability system doesn't become too much of a pain. Oh, that's going to be really rough for updating Volts Engine and a few other mods. Because we already have, for Volts Engine and ICBM, we already have an internal version of the capability system that just isn't ASM driven like the Forge version is. At least I don't think, well, I have to see if there is actually ASM. I know it does inject code, but I don't know if it does that via ASM or some other method. I'll have to read up on it. Doesn't look too bad though. Definitely need a prototype. I think I might go make a small machine mod and then just see if that will port forward really cleanly, and if that does, then we shouldn't have a problem with Volts Engine. There we go, that's all loaded up, and let's go ahead and delete this world and make a new one. Get this all tested. Oh, look, the Dragonfire there is going to try to make another Source Forge film. He's made a couple now. A few of them are okay. Oh, I'm in the ocean. I wonder if Minecraft is ever going to add code to prevent you from spawning in the ocean. And I'm the female character again, which is strange. I was just playing earlier and I was Steve. I think it randomizes. So we got the dev tool here. We've already tested everything. So the only thing we really want to do is test to make sure the ores are working. Put a hole in the ground here. Yep, right there's some more. We got some on the spawn point too, which is not too bad. Oh, frame rating pretty bad though. I'm going to say it's because of flowing water. Flowing water has always been a problem with FPS. Let's fly away from here for a second and wonder why that didn't fix. Oh, whatever. Not important. We're going to go over here to this orange-collared village. That's cool, but strange at the same time. That must be something they added here in the last couple versions I just didn't notice. Oh, this mount looks really good for testing. Okay, yep, so the ore is working over here as well, so I'm going to just call that pretty good, and we'll move to the next version. So that means we are updated. So close this workspace down, open this folder, copy this guy, pop over to 111, paste it back down, and repeat the process. I don't get paid enough to do this, to be honest. Delete the build folder, run folder. Actually, I didn't want to delete the run folder, but oh well, it's deleted. So then we just want to go Gradle property and, oh, not Gradle property, that's the wrong folder. I want to go build.gradle and then change this to 111. And then we want to do close all but this, and actually just close that too. Then pop up a folder, go into Wooden Shears, borrow the dev script again, and rerun the process all over again. Let's say I'm going to get an achievement for updating the most mods across the most versions in the shortest period of time, but I think some people have me beat, and there really isn't an achievement for it. Probably should do that. So like somebody should make an organization for modding that just hands out like these little digital medals that goes like, hey, you did this. Awesome. Have a digital medal that isn't worth anything. I think somebody would find it cool. At least I would. Then again, I'm all for the small things. Let this run here, and what we have recording time? We're at 25 minutes on the recording and an hour and 20 on the stream. Not too bad. Probably going to do these streams more often, probably earlier and a little bit longer. We'll have to see how things kind of go over the next couple weeks. So right now I've got a bit of free time because, well, I had no class meetings this week at all. And then only thing I got to do is study for an exam, which has been pretty good. That's actually, when it comes to college work, that's amazing when you don't have to do anything but study for an exam. See if this works. The last couple times I've had it crash right on fixing sources. Oh, looks, it got past it. Right as I said that, too. I'll have to cross our fingers for the 112 one. The 112 one's been particularly bad about crashing on the fix sources one. I think a couple of the... what's the word for it? Not patches. Well, I mean, it is the patches that are breaking, but... there's a name for the group of patches. It's completely slipped my mind. Yeah, I'm completely amazed it slipped my mind too, because I was talking about it earlier. Because there's like 2 components you have to use to actually declare what version of Minecraft you're using now. You declare the Forge version, and then there's a number you have to put in there, which is the MCP patches version. Anyways, this is loaded up, so we'll go ahead and just work on that rather than me spend more time trying to figure out when my brain forgot a word, which happens way too often. I forgot the word car keys yesterday. It was amazing. You ever have to describe to somebody what car keys are? I'm like, the little metal things with the teeth on them, and they're like, what? Do you mean comb? And it's like, no, the little metal things with the teeth on them. They're jagged. You stick it in a... I forgot the word lock, too, on top of that. That's when you know you haven't had enough sleep. Oh, I got an amazing amount of sleep today, although that was unintentional. I got up at, I think it was like 9 o'clock, and I was like, you know what? I got up early. Let's do like 1 hour of sleep. And my brain's like laughing at me as I fall back asleep, because then here 7 hours later I get up. It's like, oh, well, I missed the time I wanted to get up at. So I was hoping to do the stream like real early in the day, like maybe a noonish. That way we had 6 hours to stream rather than the 2 hours we're going to get today. So let's see, open up the main class file, or that's not the main class file, but, well, we found an error. Get random integer in range. Did they remove that? I think they just changed it. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So we wanted to actually open up this one. Yeah, if you open up your main class, it's a really good indicator of like what's wrong half the time. Oh, and they got rid of the fluid container system. Bummer. Let's just do this. Doesn't feel well. Come back here later. I should put it here. So that means if we go into our recipe, which we just fixed here, the whole top half won't work. Which is fine, because we can just delete it. And we say build, rebuild to go find all the errors. Oh yeah, for you guys who were over in Europe. That's one of the reasons I also wanted to kind of do it earlier, but then it also becomes hard for people here in the US too, because most people don't get off work until like 3 or 4 o'clock. But again, I guess they could watch it on their lunch break. I don't know. We'll figure something out. That's one of those things where I'm kind of prototyping what we're doing with the stream here. Like if I need to do it earlier in the day, later in the day, if I need to do 2 separate streams that are shorter, figure something out. Probably should ask Dire Wolf what he does to get as many people as possible. Then again, he's streaming here at like 7 p.m. today, I think. So for you guys in Europe, that would suck. Good news is these are all recorded, and I am putting them all up on YouTube. So if you miss a stream, it's there. I believe Mixer also records these as well, so you can always watch them like later in the day. So that was the only error I think we had. Also, for the people on YouTube, there's the chat. That momentary second. I think I actually, I think there's a way to get chat to show up on the recordings too. I saw Baron Von, whatever he was doing, and his chat was showing up on his main window. I'll have to figure out how that works. So fix our modular here, and then this time I'm going to remember not to forget the dev right off the back. That way we can go straight from testing the renders to testing the world generator. Although we haven't got a chance to test the fluid container recipes, I probably should just make a quick fluid container just to test the recipes. I actually probably should pull my JUnit code up and start creating tests for this mod to make sure it functions properly. After this one needs a lot of testing. I think Baggable Plants, the one we updated here yesterday, was one that needed a lot more testing than any other mod, as that one has a chance to, if it breaks, you lose items. And it has shown it is broke a couple times, so it needs to probably go through and clean it up and do more work on it. I actually need to find more uses for it, because right now the only thing you can use it for is moving various things. What happened here? Oh, I know what happened there. This is where I was trying to check to see if all of our stuff was lowercase, and I completely glanced over. These two guys are not lowercased. It is fixable, but getting GitHub to actually load it would be a little tricky. I'll show you guys the trick here in a second how to fix that, if you have the same problem with any of your stuff. But first, we're going to just load in and just check the world generator. The block should render just fine, though. It's just going to be the items are going to be finicky. At least the good thing is the world generator code hasn't needed that much work. I was expecting to have to completely relight. Oh, whoa, what the? Hello, Mr. Villager. Oh yeah, now we're in the version where you can walk up steps too. I think that was added in this version. Okay, so yeah, we don't have icons for this guy. But we can still use them, theoretically, to test ores. Yep, so there's ore down there. There looks like there's a ravine here too. Can't see squad down there though. By the way, for people who want to know how this insta-hole works, it finds the center of the chunk and then works its way out. Or rather, finds the corner and then works its way over. Yeah, so the ore is working just fine, and the ore is rendering perfectly fine too, so we don't have to do anything with it. So third person looks good. First person looks fine, and so does the dropped item. So the only thing we got to do is then fix the icons for these guys, which I'm going to do here in a second. So reload here. So yeah, here 111 they changed it so it's mandatory everything has to be lowercase. But in order to fix this, I have to go out to here, because I can fix it inside of IntelliJ, but that doesn't actually fix it properly. Because unfortunately, a lot of Git tools don't check for capitalization properly, and yeah. So models, item. Let's go ahead and close this. Actually, yeah, do that real quick. Put them up here. And I forgot to actually go ahead and set this up. So branch 1.11. And we want to actually completely delete these. And then we'll just add them right back. Okay, so set version to 1.11. There we go. Removed item models temp to fix names. So commit, push, submit to global. Then what we do is hit Control Z. Actually, I can just go straight in here and yeah. Then we just want to rename them. So this would be oil item. And this should just be as a whole. It's just one of those things that they did. I don't know if Mojang did it or Forge did it, but it's mandatory now, so. Lowercase model spec. Model spec fixing lowercase requirement. There you go. And then we're good. So we just have to jump in real quick to make sure that those changes actually took. And then we should be able to go test 112 here in a second. And then we can then figure out what mod we want to update next. So let me actually, yeah, I'll leave that folder over there. See if I can get another folder here. So the next mod to update, if we go find the SMB folder. So we have the selection between all these, because all these mods are actually functional. Any mods that aren't listed in here probably are not functional. We could just go ahead and start up on the bucket mods. That way we can get gas can updated. We could do turtle boat armor. I actually need to get a model for that one before we do that one. I want to actually get something that looks like a turtle shell. That's actually a pretty trolly mod. My buddy Grogger decided he wanted to be able to have armor that he could take off, right click, use as a boat, and then put it back on. And therefore we got the turtle boat armor. Cardboard boxes actually would be a good one. Yeah, we'll do that one next. Because that won't let us test advanced logic and work on tile-entities. Okay, so oil clump worked. However, instant hold did not. Did I not spell it correctly? Hold on, where's my... Yeah, we'll just test it here. It's right there. Weird it would just fail like that. Can check the client proxy after I fix my music. Always try to turn this down because even if it's just Minecraft music, the YouTube censor whatever thing it likes to flip off. Yeah, close this window. So yeah, when we register this, right there's instant hole. We use its registry name. Let's just put 2 lowercase on the end of it. No, that doesn't work. You have to do 2 string, then 2 lowercase. That might fix it. I don't think so, though. Let's go up to this file real quick and see what its registered name is. It's registered as instant hole. If I lowercase this in here, just for the... Actually, you don't want to lowercase that one. Just want to lowercase that one. We'll lose the item in here, but that's not important because it is a dev-only item, and we can just go ahead and test it again and see if it fixes. If it doesn't fix after this, I'm not going to be too picky because I'm going to remove it from this mod anyways and toss it in its own mod here eventually. And we got a message in Discord. 3. I just random invite to channel that. It's an unturned Discord. I'm going to pass on that one unless somebody tells me why I should join. Okay. Probably somebody going through just inviting everybody to a channel. And I ran out of tea. Good thing is I have soda next to me. Anyways, we're almost done with this, and then we'll be able to switch to 112, and then we'll go be able to work on a more exciting mod, like cardboard boxes. Yeah, I know it's not exciting. Okay, so pop open, test. Yeah, it still didn't work. I wonder why that is. Let's see, what is it looking for if it errors out? That's not looking for anything. What is it looking for? A texture that isn't there. Okay, so if we open this up, there's not a single error in this whole thing about the actual system. Now, if we hold the item, it actually does render properly. So that tells me that it's the texture itself is having problems. So if we go to the instantHold.json, it's looking for devstaff.png, and it can't find it. Do the textures have to be lowercase too? I'm going to assume that is actually the case, and I'm not going to fix it, because I'm just going to leave it alone. And then we're going to call it good for this mod. I'm just going to hit sync on this. Actually, you know what, I'm going to just unstage and discard changes. There you go, because there's no changes that actually mattered in that one. And even though I kind of said I was probably going to record a little bit longer, stream a little longer, I'm just going to end it here. So see you guys here tomorrow.